WLFE-DB Digital Network are engaging in the safe space. What is safe space? A safe space is a supporting and affirming environment for individuals within the LGBTQ+ community. Each podcast displaying the Safe Space logo will have resources available on hand for those in need without judgment. Here at WLFE-DB Digital Network, we care. We listen, we support, we understand.
Warning, the following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Inside the Drag Closet with Jade. Join Jade DeVere and her fabulous team of guests as they discuss all things drag, from wigs to makeup to performances and everything in between.
Join us at WLFE-DB.com for upcoming shows and more.
Well, hello, kids. Welcome to Inside the Drag Closet, the interactive podcast where we talk about all things drag and, well, some things that aren't. Who knows? We're really just here to have a good time. Yes, that's right, folks. Don't adjust your screens. It is the one and only, the co-host, or the host, I should say, for the evening, Miss Amethyst Diamond. Miss Jade DeVere is taking a short, brief vacation for the month. She's worked very hard, putting the show together, doing gigs all over the place, and we thought it'd be a good idea just to let her not be on the show tonight and put all this drag on for you. So, if you haven't gotten your beverages yet, ladies and gentlemen, I highly suggest you do so, because tonight's show is going to be full of shenanigans, especially because my ass is in charge. Oh, yes, we have a wonderful show planned for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. My two guests for you tonight, one of which is going to be a newer queen that I met about a few weeks ago. She's a transgendered, non-binary drag artist, goes by the name of Luna Rubbish. And my second guest tonight, if you ever wanted to know anything about Amethyst Diamond, ladies and gentlemen, tonight you're going to find out, because my second guest has known me for about 16 years. When I was still discovering myself back in my mid-20s, we kind of discovered each other together, I think. She also has her own show here on WLFE-DB Radio called Modern Femme-ily. She is the host and one and only Miss CASSIE HUNTER. So let's see who we got watching tonight. Oh, I see Billy Costello is watching tonight. Hi, baby. Thank you for tuning in. My mother, Miss Tammy Ruby, is here tonight as well. Hey, beautiful. Hey, right back to you, Mom. You're doing a great job with your knee replacement surgery. Lots of love and support out there for you tonight. So I will see you tomorrow, and we will do some more exercises, okay? Oh, look who it is, Mr. Derek Gamble-Ertz, Mr. Jade DeVere himself. Can you believe it? Looking stunning, Amethyst. You know how I do. You know how I do. Since I look so stunning, let's do a little who, what, where, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, my name is Miss Amethyst Diamond. I've been doing drag for probably about 22 years, loving every minute of it, constantly learning and growing and becoming the artist you see here today. What am I wearing tonight? This lovely hair was made for me by Zamber Sky. I just picked up this new jewelry set last evening. Yes, it's Siam and jet black and chalk white to go with my beautiful houndstooth. Rocks by Cox. You know where it was from. Don't play me like that. And this lovely garment tonight was made by the one and only LaToya Perry. I own several of her garments, as you can see back here. She's a great price. She's a great sister, and I appreciate everything she ever does for me. You can find me right here on Inside the Drag Closet on the 1st and 4th Wednesdays of the month. You can also find me on Facebook under Amethyst Diamond, and you can find me on Instagram under Amethyst Diamond 1. Let's check out some more of the, oh my goodness, look at all of you in here. Look at all you beautiful people. Are you ready to have fun for me tonight? Jade was crazy enough to let me do this by myself. Yeah. But we're going to be just fine, aren't we? Oh, hi, Cassie. Hi, Reese. Hello from my banishment room. Oh, baby, why were you banished? Oh, my good friend Joanne. Nice to see you, baby. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to get that fan to you as soon as possible. Don't you worry. I love you. Vicky Marie Thompson. Hey, girl. How you doing tonight? Am I looking okay for you? Yeah. Good. Hello, Rhino, my beautiful. I miss you too, baby. I hope to see you sometime in the near future, and I hope that you're well. Oh, Maddie Floor. Hi, baby. I love you. I hope you're doing well tonight. Thank you all so much for the love. Let's see, what are we going to do here? The love. You guys are so good to me. You make me feel like such an amazing queen, and I'm so grateful for your love and your devotion and your appreciation. I know I don't always get back to all your messages, but I see them, and I value you, and I acknowledge you, and I love you so, so much. So I'm going to bring in my first guest for the night. She is my little star. She is the host of Modern Femme-ily right here on WLFE-DB Radio. And her name is the one and only Miss CASSIE HUNTER. Welcome, everybody, Miss CASSIE HUNTER. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
Can you believe that we're doing this together? Isn't this weird?
It's so weird.
Like, I mean, okay, so Cassie and I met back in 2005. She had just graduated high school. I had made a terrible mistake about dating somebody at the time. We'll let that go.
We won't discuss that, no.
We won't discuss that at all. We've moved past it. We're better people. We're better people. Praise Jesus. And Cassie and I just clicked. You know, she started coming to my shows and helping me out doing, makeup and sewing me into gowns. Where is she? This girl right here, she has held me together for many, many years. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, after the commercial break, we are going to do a round of Ask Amy Anything. And I mean anything. And this girl right here knows it all.
I'll call her out if she starts to fib, because
right.
Everything.
She knows all the dirty details. Baby, not a secret will be kept from her. I'll tell you what. Well, Cassie, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? You can talk about Modern Femme-ily if you like, and give us a little who, what, where.
Sure, absolutely. Hi, everybody. My name is Cassie Hunter. I am from North Central PA, middle of nowhere. More cows than people. Not even kidding. So we'll start with the what am I wearing? I'm actually wearing something that some of you may recognize. I'm going to kind of lift myself up a little bit. So if anyone watched the slumber party episode of Inside the Drag Closet, as Amy said, or Amethyst said, we are super close. And she actually stoned her shirt for me and gave it to me. So that was a nice surprise. Where can you find me? You can find me every Friday at 8 p.m. on Modern Femme-ily. Minus this week, we're actually picking up Molly, my co-host, her wedding dress. She's getting married in September, so we're going to pick it up this Friday. We're so excited. We can't wait. But after that, every Friday at 8 p.m. from 8 to 9, you can find me there. You can also find Modern Femme-ily on Facebook and Instagram. And then you can find myself, Cassie Hunter, on Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok. I kind of follow in Jade's shoes when it comes to TikTok. I'm addicted to TikTok. It is my favorite.
You keep telling me to get on this TikTok, and I'm not doing it. It's not happening. I'm so busy as it is. I don't have time for a TikTok. I don't have time for a TikTok, let alone TikTok. I'm just saying.
It is so much fun, and I know all of you have said before, you go to bed, and then you're still awake, and the sun is coming up. And it has so happened to me before, not even gonna lie. I get sucked into these black holes, and it's crazy.
It's a trap. It's there. Even if you're watching somebody else's TikTok, you don't even have to be on your own phone. The next thing you know, it's like 2 Thursdays from the following week.
Yeah.
I'm like, get away from me with your phone.
And see, here's the thing. If you truly love somebody, you will send them TikToks. And I sent Amethyst a few, and she's like, yeah, that's great. I'm like, no, you've got to get into it. You have to watch them.
No, I can't do it.
You have to admit that one that I sent you with the dress transformation was kind of epic.
Fair. Absolutely. I agree.
There's some good ideas.
Vicky, are you also, I guess, guilty of the TikTok trap, Vicky? It's a mess. I can't stand it. Like, it's bad enough being on social media and Facebook and Instagram, and then to have these people out there doing stupid shit to video. It does look fun. It does. You know, I enjoy a lot of the videos that I see. So,
yeah.
You know,
I mean,
it is what it is.
I've only posted a handful of videos, and I have to say my absolute favorite was making fun of my wife. And yeah, it was a voiceover, so I just kind of, you know, lip synced to the voiceover, and it basically said to my in-laws, "How many times did you drop her on her head?" I'm not saying you did it on purpose, but I would just like to know how many times you dropped her on her head.
Right.
I love my wife, but you know, sometimes her absent-mindedness leads me to think she may have been dropped.
Hey, you know what? I love people who are perfectly imperfect.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because none of us out there are perfect. My idea of perfection is somebody who is their own person and unique and stands out and is different and not like everybody else. You know, that's where I find perfection in people. So, and those are the things you learn to love and learn that to love, not to live without.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so, look, we have some wedding pictures. I may or may not have been there that day. I'm sure
somebody did my makeup that day.
Somebody did your makeup that day. I don't know who she was. Some drag queen from South Central Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and then you know, was in the wedding.
Yes, there's that part too. Yep.
But you were not in drag. I always said that you had to be your boy persona for the wedding, and then drag at the reception, and we were like, that'll take too much work. Just put me in drag that day.
Yes,
and
she did too. I mean, this is like what, maybe six months, maybe even 6 weeks after we met. She's like, oh God, there I am. She's like, look, you're going to be in my wedding, but you have to be a guy. And it took 16 years, and I kept that promise. So
yeah, you sure did.
It was a great day. It really was, especially because you rode in on the fire truck. For your dad, which I thought was just so special. And so it was very heartwarming to be a part of that. So thank you for having me at your special day.
I mean, if I know all your dirty secrets, you have to do all the things that
That's
I've
true.
always wanted. So,
like, even if you didn't invite me, I probably would have shown up anyway. Like, what the hell?
I'm pretty sure if I didn't invite you, everybody would have looked at me and been like, what the hell?
Yes, they definitely would have.
Where is your sidekick?
Exactly. We've been sidekicks for 16 years, and I love it.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your show. Like, you had, you know, seen the show and followed Inside the Drag Closet with all of us. And you had mentioned to me one night afterwards, you're like, I would love to have a show, you know, from a woman's perspective. And 2 seconds later, you had a show. So welcome to the WLFE-DB Radio family.
Yes, thank you. And that's no exaggeration. That's exactly how it happened.
Yeah.
I said to Amethyst, I would, you know, love to see a show from a woman's point of view. And within minutes, I was getting messages. And now I get up at 6:30 in the morning for work. So I'm getting messages at like 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, girl, I gotta go to bed.
Those group chats, you know, sometimes.
But the next day, Jade and I had things rolling. And within a month, I had a show, and it's called Modern Femme-ily. I'm the host and resident lesbian. Molly is my co-host and our LGBTQIA+ ally. Yeah. And so case in point, last month was all about body positivity. And I
love that.
The side of it's okay to wear whatever you want. Every body is perfect. If you're comfortable, everybody else's opinion is completely irrelevant. But we also touched on
you actually get up at 6:58. Sorry, it's not. What did you say? 7?
No, 6:30. My alarm starts going off before then. I just don't roll my ass out of bed before then.
That's a pretty precise time, though. 6:58. Like,
takes me a couple minutes to log in, so I have to be ready by 7.
Honey, I feel you. I feel you.
But so last month we touched on, the mental health of things, and, it's a woman's show. And there was a week where I got my monthly visit, and I just felt like crap and I hated myself. And we talked about how it's okay to be that way and just don't live there. And Amethyst, you've actually, helped me when I was younger to learn that it's okay. Just don't live there. And I've carried that on through my entire life, and I've shared it with, I couldn't tell you how many people. And just be comfortable with who you are and love you and spread that. And you're going to see things change and be different.
And that's exactly what it's about. Just acknowledging that you are unique and you are who you are, and just owning that and saying, this is me, this is who I am. And once you do that, it gives you so much freedom to actually go out in the world and live it to the fullest extent, to your happiest.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I'm glad that you said that. That's something that, you got from me, because, you lived in the middle of Bumble, small town country girl, singing for the cows at the country fair, winning those karaoke trophies. Yes. For those of you who don't know, Cassie's a wonderful singer. I used to do her makeup so she could go down to the country fair next to the Piggly Wiggly and sing her some karaoke.
Pretty much, yeah.
I love it.
And he's not kidding. I actually did sing at our country fair, and the newspaper said that I sang to my husband, who was a friend of ours who was gay. Yes. And my family was super angry that I got married and didn't tell them. I'm like, well, I didn't get married. He's gay. And then shortly thereafter, I came out as a lesbian. So I'm like, surprise.
So there. So how you like me now? Lord. I always wondered how you were going to turn out, with my influence of being around you, because we lived together. And you were 18 years old.
Yeah.
So, and I was in my mid-20s. I was, having the time of my life. So, I always wondered what my influence on you was going to be. And thankfully, you turned out all right, kid. You turned out all right.
I took the good road for the most part.
Yes. You got to watch me do everything you should never do.
And I'm pretty sure you've said that before. Don't do
it. Probably. Yeah, I was a best example for Cassie because I did so many things wrong, and she had to clean up the mess. Let's be honest.
It's all right.
What it was.
What are friends for?
Look, a blast from the past. Speaking of the devil himself, Mr. Michael Reeder's watching the show. Son of a bitch. Shenanigans. I told you guys there would be shenanigans tonight, and that was my ex-boyfriend. Isn't that some shit? Oh, Jade, you better enjoy your time off, girl. I love it. Yes. Tonight, anything goes with Auntie Amy tonight. You can ask me anything you want, but we're going to do that after the commercial break. Reese says she was not easily influenced. I had to beat her up to get you to call off work.
She did.
And, Reese is a wonderful inspiration that way. Yes.
She was very convincing.
Yes, absolutely.
Because at that point in time, I worked 3 jobs.
Yeah.
And I would just be so tired. And she's like, call off work. Whap. Call off work. Whap.
And sometimes you have to. You've been very hardworking for a long time. And, it's okay to reward yourself. Absolutely. You know what I mean? It's what you have to do in life. Is don't forget you.
Right. And sometimes we just need a me day. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. Bitch deserves a break, as your wife says.
Yes.
Isn't that nice when your wife says, bitch, you deserve a break?
Yup, that's my wife.
Oh, I love it. Well, Cassie, thank you so much. We're going to bring in our next guest tonight, but we're going to catch up with you after our commercial break, okay?
Sounds good. I'll see you there.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Isn't she awesome? You guys are in for such a treat tonight. You are going to find out so much about me that you probably never wanted to know. But moving right along, everybody, we're going to get right into my next guest. As I said, I met her a few weeks ago at 7:04 at a show we did with Betty Whitecastle for a disco show that night. And she is a transgender, non-binary drag artist. And, as a seasoned queen, when I walk into a show, and there's so much new artistry out there right now, and I love the fact that I'm meeting so many baby queens and baby entertainers. And she walked in, and when I first meet somebody that I don't know, everybody gets the look, the 1-2. And baby, I probably did that 3 or 4 times with my next guest, because she's young, she's beautiful, and she's very talented. Her makeup was on point, her outfit was correct, her body was good. She impressed me from the second she walked in the door, and that's why I asked her to be on tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm Inside the Drag Closet welcome to my next guest, the lovely, the beautiful Miss Luna Rubbish. Welcome, hello, baby, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Sweetheart, you are so beautiful. You are a breath of fresh air, knowing that you are the future of drag.
Oh, thank you so much. That literally means so much to me.
Absolutely. Like I said, when you first walked in the room and you had that bodysuit on, everything was fitting like perfectly for you. Your hair was right. Your makeup was extremely impressive. That's what I've seen first. When you first walked in the room, you had that bodysuit on and everything was fitting like perfectly for you. Your hair was right. Your makeup was extremely impressive. That's what I've seen first. Exactly.
Thank you so much. I really, I love makeup artistry. I prefer the makeup. Makeup's my favorite thing about drag. I really love diving into it. It's my creative outlet. The hair and the bodysuit and the clothes are one thing, but makeup is absolutely my favorite thing about it.
Awesome. Well, sweetheart, you do it well. And from what you told me, you've been doing drag for about 2 years. Is that correct? Awesome. Well, sweetheart, you do it well. And from what you told me, you've been doing drag for about 2 years. Is that correct?
That's correct. I've been kind of off and on. I take short breaks from drag because I can find it to be overwhelming sometimes. But ever since things have been starting to open up, it's been a very rewarding thing to do so ever since.
Good. And from what I got to see of your performances, which basically were videos after the fact, you seem very comfortable on stage. You know how to walk out there and command attention, which basically were videos after the fact. You seem very comfortable on stage. You know how to walk out there.
Thank you so much. I have I was a theater kid. I grew up loving theater, and I knew, from the second I saw my first show that this stage was where I wanted to be. And I'm sure a lot of other drag performers can attest to this, that once you step on that stage, there's just something within you that kind of happens in your head on that time that you're on stage. But
yeah, and that's the magic of drag. No matter how you're feeling before a show, whether you just had Chipotle or Popeyes like we may have before the show, when the lights hit and that curtain opens, baby, it's showtime. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
I love that so much about drag. But Luna, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody? Give us a little who, what, where.
Sure. So my name's Luna Rubbish. I was born in central Pennsylvania, about 30 minutes south of Harrisburg. When I was 19, I moved to Harrisburg. I hadn't started drag quite yet. I wasn't even one when I moved here. However, when I moved into Harrisburg, I kind of started discovering drag a little bit. And I, really wanted to start taking it seriously. I had always been interested in makeup, so that was kind of my gateway into drag. And then, what am I wearing? My wig is by Shopwell Beauty, local sex store, Excitement Video. I really love rack shopping. I think a lot of new drag is headed in the direction of streetwear, and I really love the aesthetic of streetwear. So my drag is often seen as a little more muted or a little more, on drag. However, I stand by, how I present myself. And like I said, you can find me in Harrisburg. I do a monthly show with Betty Whitecastle in Harrisburg at a club called 704. And usually I don't perform more than once or twice a month just because I'm so busy outside of drag. But yeah, so that's where you can find me, and that's what I'm wearing.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It's definitely, I'm glad you agreed to do the show, because here on Inside the Drag Closet, we try to find a very diverse group of entertainers for our audience. You know what I mean? And bring that to the table, and I'm very grateful for having you here tonight. Cheers to you,
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes, cheers. I'm drinking water. Brand.
Yes, very off-brand tap water. Yes.
Right.
Exactly. So, Luna, where do you get a lot of your drag inspiration from? Like, who do you look up to in the drag community?
Well, I really look up to a lot of other non-binary performers. I really love burlesque. I really look up to Jay DeVere's kid, Maxwell Treats, Mr. Treats. They're incredibly talented performer. On multiple levels. I look up to them a lot. I really love the Ass Edge. I really like mixing the two of those things together. To kind of creating my own drag aesthetic, which is kind of where my name came from. I wanted something that sounded pretty, but also had something versatile.
I love everything about your drag name.
So basically anything that's like pretty with an edge.
And honestly, yes, even Jay DeVere agrees. Luna Rubbish is the best drag name, because you're right. Like Luna, I think of like almost like the moon.
It's totally on a whim. I was looking up drag names on like Reddit, and I didn't want.
I think of like almost like the moon.
So sorry, the lag is like.
It's okay, baby.
But yeah, it was on a whim. I just picked my drag name. I really like the name Luna because I just think it sounds really pretty, and people think of space and the stars, and then I was like, this is too pretty. I need to add something that's gonna make it not comfortable for people to listen to. So I was just like, I want it to be garbage, but I also have this like weird obsession with words that people don't say in the US. So like rubbish, we don't hear that word very often in the US. So I figured, since it's not such a common word used in day-to-day language, why not make it part of my name?
Exactly. And honestly, when I met you that night at 704, all night long, as soon as I said your name, I immediately went into an English accent. I was like, Luna Rubbish. I love Luna Rubbish. It's just rubbish, complete rubbish. I absolutely love it. And that aesthetic for you is absolutely perfect. It's like a glamour punk. You do it so well, and I applaud you. And if you ever need any advice or, a sister to talk to, you definitely have earned a few here tonight. So,
thank you so much. That means everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you have a certain makeup brand that you prefer to use?
I really love pretty much everything I use is either Morphe or Juvia's Place. Morphe for its affordability. Juvia's Place, they really promote makeup for people of color, and I support that. I want to give them all of my money, so a lot of my makeup for affordability is Morphe, and then Juvia's Place.
I use Morphe as well. Morphe and MAC are probably my two go-tos of all time.
I actually don't think I've ever used like a MAC product in my life. I've just never gotten my hands on one.
Wow, that breaks my little heart.
Actually, I think when I was like 16, I like snuck into my mom's little makeup cabinet and like stole her little MAC highlighter and lived my fantasy as a sophomore.
Yes. Yes. So Beast Hunter says, when I moved to South Carolina, my teacher told me.
But yeah, so maybe I had like a MAC highlighter when I was much younger.
So I guess, Reese, your fifth grade teacher was English. Throw it in the rubbish. It's the best word. Rubbish is the best word ever. Complete rubbish. Try it, everybody at home. Complete rubbish. Rubbish is more common down south. It is a very southern thing, rubbish. And I guess over across the pond as well. See what I did there, Scarlett? I guess over across the pond as well. Okay. Oh, that's good enough. Awesome. Well, kids, it is 9 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. So if you want to go ahead and grab that snack you've been wanting, like I want, if you want to grab a beverage, a cocktail or two, we're going to get some things figured out here for you. And when we come back, we're going to do a round of Ask Amy Anything. All right, we will see you all after the break. Hope to see you then.
WLFE Digital Broadcast Network is on TV. You can watch all of our shows on WLFE-DB.com. Check out our channels. Paranormal View for all of your paranormal type shows. LGBTQ Friends for all of our LGBTQ shows. Variety Unlimited for all other shows. It runs 24/7 right on WLFE-DB.com. You'll even catch the lives, all in one place. Never miss an episode, past or future. WLFE-DB.com, where our shows are your shows. Here at WLFE-DB, you can find shows that vary in many topics. The paranormal, the creepy, heavy metal, and LGBTQ and drag. Our shows are your shows, and we want to provide a wide diversity for all to enjoy. So, tune in to Facebook.com/WLFE-DB Radio. Like, follow, and share with your friends and family. Also, go check out our website at www.WLFE-DB.com. 2021 just got better. Your favorite shows from WLFE-DB Radio can now be found on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Yes, we now video stream to both of those platforms. Search for your favorite shows like Where's My Sage, Inside the Drag Closet, Across the Pond, Everything Yet Nothing, Paratalk Radio, Step into the Paranormal, The Creepy Parlor, Just Cindy, and more. Now you won't miss an episode. Remember, follow Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Make sure you subscribe and follow your favorite WLFE-DB radio shows.
More from WLFE-DB Radio Network after this.
Hey guys and dolls, this is Casey DeVille, the better half of DeVille Inc., Baltimore, Maryland. If you're ever in Baltimore, stop in and see me and Tony. Invisible Bree, 5920 Eastern Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21224. Give us a call if you're in the area at 410-400-9641, or look us up on the web at DeVilleInc.com. DeVille Inc., where we specialize in you.
Oh yeah. Life just got sweeter now that WLFE-DB has merchandise. Show your support by purchasing your t-shirts for WLFE, Paratalk Radio, Inside the Drag Closet, and more. But it doesn't stop there. t-shirts, coffee mugs, tanks, buttons, cloth bags, and more. Go to WLFE-DB.com. On the top bar, click on the merchandise tab and bam, there you go. You got merch. Support the shows. WLFE-DB.com.
You're listening to WLFE-DB Radio. Now, back to our program.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Did you grab that drink and that snack? Because we are back and having an attack. I hope you all are enjoying tonight's episode. I am flying solo tonight, so you get an hour and a half long version of Diamond Dish. Get you some, get you some. I'm having a wonderful time here with you tonight and my special guest. Thank you so much for tuning in. But did you know we have merch? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Just tune in to www.jdevere.com/merch, and you can buy all of our merch. Our beach towels, our t-shirts, our even fanny packs. Can you believe it? We have fanny packs, hoodies, and more. So make sure you go to, we have stickers. That's right. I forgot about the stickers. You can get a sticker of me. That's so cute. I love it. Go to www.jdevere.com/merch and make your purchase now. So ladies and gentlemen, we are back from our commercial break, and it is time to do a little Ask Amy Anything. And I mean anything. So I'm going to go over here and look at my little comments here and see what questions you have for us tonight. Starting with Reese Hunter. We all heard you say Cassie sewed you into a gown or two. What's the story there? Oh, Reese, I love you so much. So one of the first things that pops to mind was when I went to, I think it was Elmira, New York, at a place called Angles. I ran for, what was it? Miss something of New York, Miss Twin Tier of New York City. One of these crowns up here, 3 of which are from New York City. Ding. So yes, I was getting into my evening gown, my beautiful purple beaded evening gown that I used for competitions. And as the zipper went up, the bottom of it came out. And I mean, it was probably 3 numbers before the category. So I had to have Cassie take a curved needle and some fishing string and literally sew my zipper shut in a beaded gown. I mean, she did it successfully. I didn't turn around too much during that night, but it's awesome to have that dresser there and that presence of somebody who knows exactly what it is that you need at any given time. And I'm so blessed that she's here with us tonight because, oh, look, here they come. Hi, girl. Hi, people.
Hi.
How you doing? We are back. I think we got our technical issues figured out. Fingers crossed. Oh, see, we are on point.
Oh, we can hear each other. We can see each other.
Oh, my goodness. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Inside the Drag Closet, interactive podcast where we talk about all things drag and some things in art. Who knows? Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you both so much for being here with me tonight. I'm driving myself crazy doing this show by myself. But it's a learning experience, and I'm having a good time. So now that we're back from the commercial break, I wanted to do an Ask Amy Anything, because usually after the commercial break, I do a segment called Diamond Dish. But since tonight we have an hour and a half of doing Diamond Dish, if there's any questions you ever wanted to ask me out there, please feel free to ask away. What do we have here? Feel free to send in those questions. Yes, please send in your questions, not necessarily just for me, about anything in general, to our special guests here, Cassie and Luna, as well. Orion Angel, would you say you make the stage, or does the stage make you?
Ooh.
That depends. That depends on whether or not that stage is held up by booster seats.
Facts.
Facts. If that stage cannot support me, I do not support it.
No.
At all. But honestly, I think, we were talking about this earlier, and right before you go on stage, no matter how you're feeling, when that curtain opens and those lights hit, baby, your character goes on like that. Yeah. And Luna, I know you've experienced that as well. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. I mean, like,
really, like, part of being a performer, not just a drag performer, but just anyone who has stepped foot on the stage, like, to have an insight of what your stage is going to look like beforehand is obviously a great advantage. However, like, sometimes, you know, you walk into the gig or the venue and you're taken right to your dressing room and it's like, great, 10 minutes, we're going on. Have a great show. So, you know, sometimes your first view of the stage is, you know, your performance. So really what it comes down to is being good, you know, being good on a whim and you know, owning that stage no matter what the stage is. So I think if you're, you know, a good performer, then you own the stage. But there are some stages that have owned performers.
Yes. Yes, like a couple weeks ago when I performed on top of a wet dugout, that dugout owned my ass because I fell and hit my face right on the cement. It was terrible. I talk about it every week. We'll eventually see the video. I'm just saying, I got to prepare myself for that. So, so Kenneth says, Amy, you are rocking this tonight. Jade who? Love you, Jade. Stop that. I love Jade too, and I can't wait till she comes back. No. Hi, Billy. So embarrassing moments. Cassie, you've been on many stages, whether with me or by yourself. What embarrassing moments have you had while being on stage, either doing karaoke or any kind of stage performance?
The one that comes to mind, in actually 2019, I was competing in a competition, and I had won the local competition here, and I went on to the next level. Sorry, it was 2019, 2020, because it ended up getting canceled because of, you know, the bitch of COVID. But I went up to do a warm-up number. It wasn't even one of that I was performing to compete, and I totally screwed it up. And it was fancy. So you know, I know that song like the back of my hand. I don't need lyrics, anything.
There's a lot of lyrics in that song.
And I bumped it up. And I think that set the tone for the other competitors, thinking that I was going to screw up my other songs. And I won that level.
See, that's a good strategy. Go and make people think that you're weak and show them exactly how you're not.
Yes, ma'am. I was competing against a bunch of guys. I was like, I got this. Screwed it up and then took the whole competition at that level. So
exactly, you did them a favor.
Yeah, I gave them a false sense of hope.
Luna, do you have any embarrassing moments from stage?
I don't tend, a lot has happened to me on stage. I don't really tend to get embarrassed. I really just own whatever the fuck happens on that stage. However, I personally, there have been like a couple times where, you know, I do a dip or I'm rolling around on the floor and I injure myself. That's when I'm like, okay, I'm hurt and I'm embarrassed because my energy went from here to here and everyone can tell. Or like when I was first getting into drag, I wanted to do, you know, the death drop. I really wanted to like get that down pat. And, you know, now is much different than when I first started. However, there have been many concussions, many brush burn knee, or, you know,
dislocations.
Thank you. And you know, when you're in a room or you're performing on a stage with a hardwood floor, heads tend to make a sound when they hit the floor. And then, you know, if someone's recording, you watch it afterwards and you see a lot of like, ooh, the head. So I, you know, embarrassing moment is like when I first started doing drag and I wanted to like master that move, and I would just, you know, essentially smash my head against the floor.
Exactly. Because like new dance moves for me, like I never rehearsed them. I'm just okay, let's try this for the first time in 6-inch stilettos on a hardwood floor in front of 5,000 people. Perfect timing. Great time to try that out. People, don't do that. Don't do it.
I will say that's an advantage that I have because I sing live when I perform,
Mhm.
that I always have to do a mic check. So I get to run through that first. I don't know how y'all do it. I don't think I could do it.
I mean, I have a living room, and that is like my practice area. But, you know, really, like, I find it so interesting because I will practice in my living room to my fake fans all the time. However,
Yes.
once you're on that stage, you're like, oh my gosh, like, I have to collect tips. I don't have time for all these, you know, twirly dancy, like,
Right?
I'm gonna do my little thing over here, and then I'm like, oh, I have to collect tips, and then I'm like, oh my god, wait, like the show's halfway over, like, okay, let me just, you know.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So Vicky Marie Thompson has another question for us. What are some of your pet peeves, either backstage or with audience members? For me, a biggest pet peeve would be people just talking during a number. I guess I'll speak for the audience portion of that question. When you go out and, you know, we put a lot of effort into what we do, whether we're doing a karaoke competition or we're doing a simple drag performance. You know, our looks and everything took time, it took money, it took mental power, which I'm very low on this week. And when you go out there and you give it your all and people are just talking or they're on their phones or just completely ignoring it, it's like, you know, if you didn't want to come to the show, then why did you? You know what I mean? So
exactly.
One of my biggest pet peeves is definitely an audience that just doesn't appreciate what they paid to see. You know what I mean? Essentially. So as far as pet peeves in general, just people who are blatantly disrespectful or go out of their way to be mean or rude to other people, because it's the most unnecessary action, and it takes so much more effort to do that to somebody than to actually smile and be nice to somebody. You know what I mean? Just people who are just ignorant and rude to others and just inconsiderate. Probably one of my bigger pet peeves. So, Cassie, what about you?
So when it comes to performing, I have to agree with you, Amy. If there are people in the crowd talking or on their phone and not paying attention, why did you even bother? Who drug you here against your will?
Right.
You know, if you were on this stage, you would expect the courtesy. So just come on. And as far as backstage, being, you know, someone who helped Amy for years, one of my biggest issues backstage was just people being bitchy. Like you're all here for the same reason, whether it's you're just performing or you're competing. Like, it's not worth it. Knock it off.
Right.
And as a dresser, I didn't leave backstage, so I heard everything. You may not want Miss Congeniality, so you're going to get a reputation.
Facts.
So
Facts.
that was my biggest issue with backstage.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like, whether you're back there as a dresser, a dancer, a makeup artist, or what have you, everything you do positively or negatively affects the person you showed up with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you could be the most spot on, beautiful perfectionist of a queen, but if your team and your crew are shitty to other people, baby, you're not going home with the crown that night. I can tell you that.
Nope.
I can tell you that. So, Luna, what are some of your pet peeves?
I mean, I both of those things are very good irritants of mine. Personally, one thing that just drives me mad is, and I know we're kind of known for it, but the shadiness, I'm just not with it. You know, like, you know, joking around is fun, sure, but one thing that really just brings me down and will completely change my mood is when, you know, we're backstage, we're getting ready, there's a performer, and I hear, oh my gosh, you look great, I love that outfit. And they go out on stage, and it's like, oh, did you see what they were wearing? And I'm like, wait a second, like, are we not a part of this community together? Are we not tied up in this? Are we not supposed to lift up each other? And it really just comes down to that, you know, rule that you learn when you're 4 years old, which is if you don't have anything nice to say, don't fucking say it, you know, just, you know, and, you know, sure, maybe that person doesn't look great to you, but maybe they feel the best they've ever felt in their entire life. And if that's how, if that's how that makes them feel, who are you to minimize their glory? So that really, like, exactly. My number one thing is kind of like two-sidedness, lack of understanding, realizing that we all share this intersectional walk together of being queer and performers. Why are we talking bad on each other? Just don't say anything.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of On Stage Question, Luna Rubbish. Yeah, I'm so happy to hear you say that.
Absolutely, Jade.
You have, Jade says, shade is one thing, but bullying is another and should not happen backstage at a gig. Support your fellow drag artists. And that is exactly true. I said that earlier to somebody, another fellow queen of mine. I said, if you're not clapping for somebody, no one's ever going to clap for you.
Nope.
You know what I mean? None of us are better than the next queen. We all come from somewhere. We all have our own inspirations, our own idea of this art form we call drag. You know what I mean? So, and if you're out there just disrespecting others, you're not going to get anywhere at all. If you're not applauding other people and supporting other people's efforts, whether it be drag, whether it be, everyday life, whether they be in school, what have you, if you are not giving that inspiration to others, you will never get it back in return. What you will get back in return, you don't want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, Luna, I'm very glad to hear those answers come from you, being a younger queen and the future of our generations of queens. You have a very good head on your shoulders, and I'm very impressed with you. So,
thank you.
I'm just going to throw out there, I very well may take a screenshot of your hair and take it to Molly and be like, I want this after the wedding because I love your hair.
I'll send you the link. They're like, it's on Etsy. I'll send it to you.
Perfect. Thanks.
This is right out of the box. I am a talentless queen. I'm kidding.
Stop.
I really enjoy the minimal aesthetic. So usually a lot of my wigs are, right out of the box. Call me lazy, but I think it works.
It looks fantastic.
Thank you.
I literally want it.
Orion Angel says, what is the worst place you have ever had to use for a dressing room?
An alleyway.
An alleyway,
yeah.
A bathroom stall, a single bathroom stall with 6 people in it. Oh, yeah. Porta potties?
Yeah.
Porta potties?
Or just no changing room at all. Show up ready in your 6 inches, please.
Right. Or just right behind a tent, right in front of everybody. Like, there have been some shady, terrible places that I have had to get dressed. Basements, closets, girl, baby. I don't know about y'all. Are there any bad ones for you guys other than what we mentioned?
You did my makeup in the crowd at a county fair that I sang at.
I did, didn't I? I love that. I would show up with like 15 brushes in my back pocket, a handful of pencils and liners, and like shit tucked everywhere. I'm like, come here, girl. Come here, I got you. No, hold on. I got you. You're like, they called my name. I have to go. I'm like, oh, well.
They'll wait.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Eve Brown, hello, baby. Thank you so much for watching tonight. We love you. Thank you for the love and support. Eve Brown asks, with the Delta variant causing the need to resume masking requirements, have you considered ways of incorporating masks into your performances in interesting ways? That is a very, very good question. I guess you both have heard that there is talk about returning the mask back to our faces with this new variant and new strain. Oh, that's such a scary thought. Like, even reading that out loud just gave me pause. I was just like, if we have to do this again, I pray that we do not. If that is the case, it's probably really going to depend on the severity of what goes down, because if we go back into mask season, I can guarantee you there will be no public drag shows.
Yeah.
I second it.
that will stop immediately.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll all have to go back to virtual. It's such a terrible thing to think about, but if another variant comes out, no, you will not see me in public.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I'm taking care of my mom right now, who just had knee replacement surgery, and if I were to ever introduce anything to her because of that, no, not at all. Hold on, I have a kitten. This was trying to climb up my back. Isn't she cute?
Oh my God.
It's
So
Gigi.
cute.
That's my baby Gigi, the new addition to the Diamond Clan. She's trying to climb up the back of my chair. I'm like, she's going to be in my wig in a minute. But
I think like
go
the
ahead.
variant, like, you know, it really just needs to be taken as seriously as when, you know, we first went into it.
Exactly.
I'm a barista at a very popular local coffee shop here in Harrisburg. I see hundreds of faces a day. So the last thing, you know, as a performer that I want to do is make other people, you know, pay a cost besides tips of coming to my show. The only ethical solution in my mind is to just not do it, you know? And of course it sucks. Like, of course, you know, of course this is, you know, it's a source of income. It's a creative outlet. I think like 6 months into the pandemic, I was like, I'm tired of sitting in my living room and putting eyeshadow on my face. I'm done. Like, I'm done. So, you know, I would stop and I would go through this gap of, you know, trying to come up with other creative outlets. And I would always come back to makeup, and it was that endless cycle. But of course, you know, we're never going to see the light at the end of the tunnel if we don't, you know, listen to the people who obviously know more than any of us.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah.
Exactly. It's not worth the risk to not, or to ignore the warning signs. We did that the first time. You've seen how well that worked out.
Yeah.
So if masks come back, put them on. We'll see you when we get done.
Right.
You know what I mean? Dre says, what is the first show and the last show that you did? How do you compare those two experiences? The first show and the last show that I did. My very first show was in Washington, D.C., Southeast Washington, D.C. at Club 55. It would have been October of 1999, I would say. I started drag as a part of a theater performance group called the Washington Academy of Arts. It was a local theater group that met once a month on a Sunday. And it was not just drag. It was all kinds of theater kids and theater dads and male performers, female performers, drag queens. It was everything in between. So my first show would have been October of 1999 as Amethyst Diamond, should I say. There were many shows in my bedroom as a kid with my mom's wig on, but we won't talk about that. Sorry, Mom.
We might.
My last show that I did... Baby, I am so busy, I actually have to look at my calendar to see what the last show I did was at HMAC. It was this past Sunday on August 1st. It was a brunch with Betty Whitecastle and Lizzie Beaumont. Also, Mia Ho was there as well. And that was the last show I did. And then we had a photo shoot that day, which, do you guys want to see some of the pictures that we did with Scott Church, me and my girls on Inside the Drag Closet? It was Jade, myself, Scarlett, and Anastasia. Oh boy, there's the mother of all sluts right there. Look at her. Isn't she dear? Purple background and all. I can't. There's the crew.
I love the matching outfits.
That was the first time the four of us have been together for a year and a half.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen Anastasia the longest, and that was a year and a half. Jade and I have seen each other very recently, and we have a big weekend ahead. And Scarlett as well. I've seen them at several different functions. Oh, I love that one so much.
Yeah.
Jade back there as our host and bartender. That was our former way. Yes, that one. I love that one. We got the band together again. Isn't that great? Yes, that one's so good.
These pictures are great.
And they're going to be ones that we remember for a very long time because they have very special meaning. So and this thing will not leave me alone. I love it.
So my first show, I actually, the person who asked this, Dre, they are my best friend in the entire world. So thank you, Dre, for tuning in and watching. My first show was actually my opportunity was facilitated by Dre themselves. I kind of told them I was interested in doing drag, and they, at the time, were going to California University in Pittsburgh. And every year they have kind of like a student/alumni drag show. It's like, hey, if you want to come try drag, here's the place to do it. So Dre was like, hey, hop in your car and drive 4 hours and come to your first drag show. And I was like, okay, lovely. So I get the poster and I'm like, who is this person that's hosting it? I've never heard of this person before. And it was Lola LaCroix out of Pittsburgh. She hosted. It was a great time. I refused to watch the videos of that show because I make myself cringe. But it's good because I, am able to see how much I've grown as a performer. Right. So my first show was with Lola LaCroix and a bunch of other lovely performers that were involved at California University in Pittsburgh. And then my most recent show was at with AMETHYST at 704 at our last show together. So yes. Oh my gosh, this cat.
I'm being attacked. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, it's totally okay.
She's like, oh, I'm gonna go inside your wig. I'm like, no. What's the matter with you? Oh, I love it. Yes, Reese Hunter says, Kitty. Yes. That's always a good story, Cassie, my story about Kitty, when I'm actually talking about a deer.
Or a bear.
Or a bear or anything. Like, she used to live in the mountains, and it would take us like half an hour to get down to the club that I would perform at, Club Z in Williamsport. And I mean, she lived in the mountains, so you would see anything in the middle of the road, just chilling, like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Mountain lion, bear, cougar, pterodactyl, all kinds of things. And I would always be the one in the back say, Kitty, and it would never be a kitty, kind of like Monsters, Inc., with Sully and the little girl. She's like, Kitty, and that was totally me. And there were times where it was a bear, and she's like, you could have said bear, not kitty, because,
I'm not looking for something, 400 pounds running towards my car.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I will say, in, Reese and I, we still do that. We'll be out somewhere. We were just on vacation last week, and if we left the campground, we didn't have cell service. Like, we were middle of nowhere. And Kitty did everything. So it stuck.
Bear, mountain lion, cougar, the cast of Inside the Drag Closet. Yeah. Just kidding. Why not? Why not? I hope you two are having fun tonight. This actually is turning out better than I thought it would. I love it. Christopher says, if the LGBTQ plus community treated the HIV/AIDS epidemic like Republicans are treating COVID, bitch, we'd all be dead. Facts. I can't with the tomfoolery of it all.
Yeah.
I think we should address how the LGBTQIA community is dealing with the HIV and AIDS pandemic. Let's start there.
Yeah.
Because the stigma behind it is really bad.
It is. It is.
So the Republicans aren't even on that page yet. They're dealing with their little gay nephew that, that doesn't feel accepted.
Yeah.
Exactly. That is the bigger picture. Let's not worry about the Republicans. Let's worry about the fact that our people are still not getting it right.
Exactly.
Let's start there. We don't need to worry about anybody else but our own, because nobody else is worrying about us either. We have strong allies, but within our own community, there are so many issues of hatred and racism, just all kinds of backward shit that doesn't make sense. It's like we are the minority.
Right.
Okay. If we're not building each other up and supporting each other, we will always be the minority, no matter whether we're accepted on this side or for what team. You know what I mean?
I think it's so heartbreaking that people that are affected with HIV and AIDS feel as though they don't have a side rooting for them sometimes, which is why, which is why people affected by HIV and AIDS have a higher suicide rate. And I know we're getting dark, but it's, statistics.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the stigma within our own community of people affected and living with HIV and AIDS is really scary, and there definitely needs to be a lot of work done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Luna, what are some of the other things you're passionate about? Like, I love hearing you speak. You seem very educated on many of the issues in our community. If you were to be an activist for something, what would it be?
I consider myself an activist, self-proclaimed, and I think some other people would also say so as well. I really am, we're living in a world where so many people are feeling hated or feeling hurt. So when those things come to the surface, let's take the Black Lives Matter movement, for example. If a group of people is coming forward saying, we feel hated, we feel hurt, the thought of another group of people not acknowledging that and kind of minimalizing somebody else's pain to overlook that is a form of privilege. So understanding that where you fall within that privilege spectrum and doing your best to unpack whatever you've learned, that someone tells you, like, this is incorrect, you need to unpack this. That's what I advocate for. I really believe that we should start listening to other people instead of constantly vouching for ourselves. Of course, we want people to follow our viewpoints. However, I think it's really important to listen more so than speak. Dre said, support your local organizations like GLOW. GLOW is a organization in Midtown Harrisburg that is ran by queer people of color, and it offers HIV and it offers resources to people living with HIV and AIDS, and also people that aren't living with HIV and AIDS, free testing, and just resources in general. So yeah, support organizations like GLOW, please.
Definitely. And that's such a good message too. For those of you that watch RuPaul's Drag Race, as far as All Star 6 is concerned, a contestant on there, Trinity K. Bonet, just did a performance where she spoke about being positive and putting a spin on it to where she's proud of her status and knowing her status isn't something, that she's going to hide or turn into something that it's not. So it is important. Go out there, get tested, know your status. For your own personal benefit and for the benefit of everyone around you. Just knowing your own health will keep you around longer. And it's a smart thing to do. So don't hesitate. Don't worry about it. It's a smart decision and one I think everybody should make. So thank you for bringing that up. Christopher says, I do stand-up comedy that centers around my HIV diagnosis. It's great to get people talking about it, breaks the ice, then gets serious. Exactly, and that's a very smart way to introduce people to things. There's a bit of a double-edged sword, I feel, with bringing comedy into something like that. However, comedy is a good segue into many serious issues, because especially for myself, when I deal with personal issues and things like that, I'll tell a joke about it. I'll laugh about it because that's how I cope with it, and it makes me feel better. And if in return you get valid information out of that or spread a good message to the rest of the world, so be it. Give people a laugh. So, Chris, thank you so much for sharing that. I appreciate that. Sarah also says we love an activist queen. I think, Luna, is that a friend of yours there, Sarah?
Oh, yeah, Sarah Gathers. Sarah Gathers might call me a queen, but Sarah Gathers is a queen in my eyes. We just recently became friends via my place of employment. Sarah actually ran for city council, and we were doing a fundraiser for her where every amount of a certain drink that we sold, Sarah's favorite drink, went to her campaign. So that's how I kind of met Sarah. Also, like, Sarah is I haven't known her for so long, but she's so, you know, she comes to, since reopening, she's been at every one of my shows. She really supports our community. She really is just so refreshing to talk to. And last but not least, she's like one of the most beautiful people I've ever met inside and out. So claps for Sarah.
That's so sweet. Sarah, we love you. Thank you very much, Sarah. Thank you for tuning in and watching us tonight.
She's really at home like, yeah.
Right. So it's so important to have those friends who support you and love you, and no matter what you do, just those people for life, like my girl Cassie up here in this direction, over here. There we go. There she is, everybody. She's been around a long time, and I know she's going to be here for the rest of my existence. So thank you for your love and support, my sister. I love you. I love you. Orion Angel says, as a preschool teacher, I consider myself an activist on teaching love, acceptance, and consent.
Yes.
Love, acceptance, and consent. Orion Angel, you couldn't have said that better. And it's such an important message to teach to our youth. It's never too early to teach respect to anybody at all. You know, that's just such a golden rule, and one that is so overlooked in our world. And it would change our world. Don't you think, guys? Like, you know, if we had people out there actually doing the simplest thing of kindness to everybody else, our world would be a completely different thing.
I actually, on vacation, it was a family reunion with my wife's family, and we spent the entire week together. And we had an amazing conversation with her cousin's wife about them teaching boundaries and consent and kindness and empathy to their 6-year-old.
Yeah.
And we actually got to watch it happen in real time. And, you know, Reese and I want a family, and we want to raise our kids that way. And we had a very long conversation about how they're making the next generation how everybody should be. That's how they're raising their son.
Right. And your wife says, I have a niece that is almost 3 and hasn't had a hug from me yet because I give her the choice and she chooses not to. One day she'll feel comfortable with it. Until then, I get fist bumps and high fives. Yep. And you know, that's a process. It's a process. You know, let them decide on their own. You don't want to force that kind of decision on anybody, especially not a child.
Yeah. Yep. And that's actually my sister's little girl. And every once in a while, she won't give it to me either. And I'm like, that's good, girl.
Sure.
What are you comfortable with? So,
exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Luna, your friend Sarah says, you're going to make me cry, Luna. Oh my goodness. Thank you for having this platform.
I literally, as a display of like Sarah's commitment, I texted her. We went on at 8:30. I texted her at like 8:40 and was like, oh, hey, I forgot to tell you I'm doing a podcast tonight. You know, here's the link. And she was like, I'm at dinner. I'm literally on my way home right now. And she just sent me a picture of her, like, wherever she went and got dinner, she brought it home, and she sent me a picture of her dinner in front of her laptop. I'm like, Sarah, this is unmatched. The commitment cannot go unnoticed.
Right. Those are the people we need to keep in our lives.
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly. Because full disclosure, like backstage right before the show started, Jade went and heated up a sandwich. I'm here eating my Popeye, my chicken.
Yes,
Luna was having some rice and beans from a little place you may have heard of that we're not going to discuss. But yeah, so we're hungry people. We're hungry queens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotta eat. Mama needs to eat. You know.
Absolutely.
Lord.
Going back to the, you know, teaching and advocating for respect, I think it's also like, if you are all about advocating for respect, that's wonderful, but also take note to being open to when somebody notices something about you and says like, hey, I think this kind of rubs me the wrong way. Being open to statements like that is so essential because
absolutely.
Because at what point do you go from, you know, I'm all about advocating respect, I only advocate respect, to maybe needing to humble yourself a little bit and step back and think maybe what I thought was the best is not the best. And that's like the whole part of advocacy work to begin with, is like learning and projecting what you've learned, but also being willing to learn more. Like you're never done, ever.
Right.
Ever. Ever.
So yeah, that's why when people are like, you know, oh, I haven't misgendered you in this amount of time. I'm like, great, that is the bare minimum. Bare minimum.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Let's think a little bigger next time.
Right. Exactly.
You know, but good for you. Yes. Orion Angel says, what is your favorite pre-show meal? Since we're talking about food. Honest to God, usually before a meal, not a damn thing.
Absolutely not.
A damn
Nope.
thing. Nothing.
But you can catch me after the show.
Yep. Denny's, round the clock, Eaton Park, Friendly's, McDonald's, Burger King. Baby, catch me after the show.
Yeah. My favorite pre-show meal is a double vodka soda and a cigarette.
Thank you, Luna.
Yep.
Yes. Reese Hunter says, you can never go wrong with tacos, but that's just me, and I'm not a performer. I just love tacos. Yes, tacos and Mountain Dew are the three things that, or two things, the third thing we can't mention, that rules your wife's world.
That is so funny.
Yeah. If I asked her, you know, hey, I'm out doing whatever, do you want me to stop and get dinner? I don't even have to ask where she wants it from. I know she wants a cheesy gordita crunch and a Mountain Dew.
Facts. Hell, even I knew that.
Those cheesy gordita crunches are worth dying for. I'm not even kidding. The amount of compassion I feel for Taco Bell. We could go on about this. I won't get into it.
We could. You're right. Because in about half an hour, I'm going to be eating a cheesy gordita crunch.
Honey, start the car. We need to make it right now.
Exactly.
Lunch tacos the next morning.
Oh, yeah. Dre, baby.
Yes.
Yes. Reese says, Luna and you are now friends forever. That's
Listen, anytime you need a Taco Bell friend, I don't care if I've just eaten at the most expensive, fancy 5-course meal restaurant in the world. If you want to go to Taco Bell, I'm coming with you. We're gonna, you know, the least I can get is some cinnamon desserts, cinnamon delights.
Oh, cinnamon twists?
Thank you.
I love those. They don't have the Choco Tacos anymore, which I hate.
They do not.
They don't.
Unfortunately. But you can get those at the bodega, like anywhere.
Yeah.
Love me a bodega. Orion Angel says, I have a large frozen mocha and gummy bears. Gummy bears are my anti-anxiety munchie.
I have gummy bears for anti-anxiety.
Spirit animals. We are spirit animals, Orion, because I love me some Haribo gummy bears.
Haribo.
I always thought it said horrible. Like, I'm like, these are actually not. They're okay. So,
Amy, every time we get gummy bears or see gummy bears, we will yell because they're horrible.
They're horrible. I do love a gummy bear though, or like those licorice nibs sort of things. So, I mean, Eve Brown says tacos. No, my motto is wait, hold on. My motto is if it ain't worth wearing, it ain't worth eating. That's terrible. And tacos tend to attack one's clothes in the most embarrassing ways. Absolutely. I love that so much. Definitely before a gig, you don't eat a taco or a burrito or anything really, because there's nothing worse than right in the middle of your number gets called. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nope.
That's terrible.
Rummy bears.
Rummy bear. Oh, we can't get into that on the show where you just soak it. Can we talk about that on the show? I don't know if we get it on. So yeah, just put your gummy bears in the bottle and then revisit it in a little while. There you go. Have a nice day.
Ta-da!
And ta-da! They get about this big.
Oh.
Go for it. Oh, okay. So, yeah. So we got permission to talk about rummy bears. If you guys have never taken a whole bunch of gummy bears and stuck them in either a bottle of rum, vodka, Bacardi, never mind.
No, bro, you got to put them in a container because if you put them in the bottle, they swell up too much and you can't get them out.
Swell up. They'll be like...
You have one gelatinous mass of...
Ew. That'd be like, what's other stuff that has the fruit in the bottle? Rhiannon and them were drinking it the one night.
Rock and Rye.
Yeah. Yeah, that.
That is a way back choice.
Well, we go way back, you and I.
I know. Yeah. No, that was a way back mountain party bad decision.
Very, 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 very. Oh my gosh. Rock and Rye, yes, please. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that.
So with the rummy bears, you can do it with rum, vodka, tequila, whatever your poison may be. And
True.
They soak it up, then you eat the gummy bears, and it's a grand old time.
It is. It's, yeah. Just no. Oh, Orion Angel says, welcome to Inside the Drag Closet. Come for the drag, stay for the alcohol tips. Well, you know, Orion, they gave me a shot at my own show tonight, so we're probably going to end up talking about booze and how to get drunk and things like that. So, you know, you're welcome. Hopefully I will be on the next episode of Inside the Drag Closet if I'm not fired. But I think we're having a good time, don't you two?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. So I think it's time for Derek's weekly drag tip. Derek is Jade's husband, and he produces a whole bunch of shows here in the area. He makes all of our graphics and things for the shows, and he is the fifth member of Fifth Harmony here on Inside the Drag Closet, and he always has the best advice for drag entertainers and for those of us out there that perform. So Derek's helpful drag tips tonight. Do not be afraid to skip $1 in order to focus on your performance. A well-organized show will allow you time to get it after the music stops.
So true.
Mm-hmm.
Luna, what do you think about that?
Oh, I just like, if someone wants to give you $1, they want to give you that $1. So, you know, don't, especially if you're like about to wrap your number up, don't leave that last round, you know, do your little huzzah and then walk around and collect. Because there have been plenty of times where I believe that because I was so focused on the $1, on the coin of it all, that my performance is just, before I know it, it's over. And then I'm like, oh wait, I'm like, my performance is over and I'm way over here and the stage is like up here. And then it's just awkward and, you know, so I think sometimes it's important, you know, as our job as performers to perform first and then worry about the coin later, even though we kind of need the coin.
Exactly. Exactly. Cassie, what do you think about that?
I agree. You have the time afterwards, and I'm gonna actually, we were at Gettysburg Pride this summer, and Amethyst was performing, doing her thing. Number was over. She's back up on the stage, done performing, and everyone's cheering, and I screamed, Amy. She ripped her head around like she actually heard me. And
she said, not my legal name.
There was this little girl, and all she wanted to do was give Amethyst $1. And Amy took that time and went over to that little girl.
Absolutely.
And she was the happiest she could have been. And
That's
but you
my
took
favorite
that time
about Pride.
afterwards. And you should. I think you all should. You
Absolutely.
You earned it. Give you the time to do it.
Absolutely. And you know, a smart entertainer will know how to work a floor because they'll know what their number is. They know when their points of interest are, when you need to do a kick or a flip or a little, you know, who's-y what's it. You know, you have to learn your music and know your music down that much that you know when and where you can be in any size room. You know what I mean? When you need to be in front of the stage or when it's okay if you walk off to the side and grab your tips. But the most important part for me about grabbing tips is making sure you take that millisecond of time to thank each individual who gives you $1. Because those people don't have to tip you. They don't have to, but they are. And they need to be acknowledged and thanked for that. So, Luna, what do you feel?
I was actually, sorry, I got caught off guard by Alicia's question. Yeah, Has someone ever offered you a tip and then had to take it away as a tease because he wouldn't take it immediately? Yes, this has only happened to me once, and that was that last person's performance that they saw that night because I made sure that they left. Right, that is the most disrespectful thing. Touching a drag performer unsolicitedly and doing the take your dollar, just kidding, work for it. Like, no, like that is, I don't stand for that whatsoever. If anyone does that to me, then I don't care if I'm hosting the show. That performance that I just did is the last one they will see of the night.
Exactly. Like, we're already entertaining. We're already in the spot. Yeah. Like I am not your individual entertainer or puppet. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here getting a treat from you because there's 150 other treats over here that I'm going to go get while you want me to dance like exactly. Your puppet. Like, and no.
We as performers and entertainers know that there's potential for us to not make any money going to a gig. So when somebody is teasing on that line between like, are you going to make this money or are you not? It's like, no, you don't determine that. You know, I determine that based off of the legitimacy of my performance. So, you know, if somebody is going to hand $1 and then pull it back, first thing is I'm going to keep it professional and I'm going to move along. But when that show is over, I'm coming for your neck. Like point blank period.
Right. Taking the wig off, honey.
Right. Give me 1 second. Let's have a chat. Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. Reese Hunter says, I love you, Luna. I love that very much. That's so cute. Sarah, your friend Sarah, says that she distinctly remembers me thanking every single person that she made eye contact with and made the show all the more endearing and personal. Thank you very much, Sarah. You know, my drag mother is the incomparable, the one and only, the dancing diva of Harrisburg, Poison. And that's one of the first things that I picked up and admired by her. Every single person that gives her $1, she takes that time to either give a wink, a nod, a kiss, a hug, an acknowledgement that she is grateful for that $1. Because you guys are paying our bills. You know, you're keeping us alive. You're keeping our characters going. For a lot of us, this is our everyday job. You know, and it may seem like one single $1 isn't a lot, but baby, I assure you it is. And it means
every dollar counts.
Yep.
Yes. And the second you ignore your audience is the second you cut your own head off.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. So always be thankful to those people that give you that gratuity.
I really appreciate performers. It's so funny. For some reason, it did not click to me that Poison was your drag mother, but it all makes sense now because I also noted your gratuity back to, you know, the people watching you. And that the first time I saw Poison was when I was at the Comedy Zone. I had a spotlight. It was when they did spotlights. It was like one single number amongst the two sets.
Absolutely.
There were, within that cast, there were 2 people I really wanted to see perform that I've never seen before. One of those persons was Jade DeVere, and then the other person was Poison. And I made it a point of that night to, you know, it doesn't really matter where I am within the dressing process. I need to see these 2 performers, you know, do their thing. So of course Jade turned the show, and then when I watched Poison, I was just so amazed that she, you know, it's so stigmatized that drag performers, you know, learn your words, say every word, you know, but Poison is like, okay, I know my words and y'all know I know my words. Thank you for allowing me to have this opportunity to perform to you, and her graciousness is unparalleled.
Yes. And speaking of Divas Down Under, you can catch our sold out show if you have tickets this Friday night at the Boomerang Bar in Harrisburg. There we are, the Divas Down Under. Speaking of Poison, that night we're going to see my sister Pola Frost, my mama Poison, my sister Katarina Couture. Yours truly will be there as well. My hostess with the mostest, Miss Jade DeVere. My bestest, Judy Kamora Vixen, and Soraya Love. All this Saturday at 10:30 on Divas Down Under. I'm so honored to have been asked to be a part of that core cast. I couldn't make the initial show, but babies, you got me every Friday of the month, and I'm going to be there from now on. So I cannot wait to see my sisters and put on one hell of a show for you all out there. I love it. Billy Costello, a good friend of mine from Rehoboth, says, Amethyst Diamond, you forgot to tell me where you're performing at Sunday night. Oh, goodness. Let's talk about Sunday night, because our sister, Jade DeVere, will be joining me that day. My crazy ass decided it'd be a good idea that on this coming Sunday, I was going to do a brunch at Port 251 in Rehoboth Beach. My sister and I are then at 7 o'clock going to be at Shrimpy's Bar and Grill performing with Julia Sugarbaker and friends. And then after that, we're going to do another show at 10 o'clock at the Purple Parrot. Oh, God.
Crazy.
And then after that, you can just pray to rise from the dead.
After that, you'll find me washed up on the beach, probably under a few margaritas. And yeah.
Burnt to a crisp.
Yeah. Very crisp.
Yeah.
Very crisp.
Very crisp.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah,
Won't be
Billy,
the first time she's fallen asleep on the beach. Don't let her fool you.
I have fallen asleep in some of the oddest places, on top of speakers, in full drag, in the back of cars. I turned out okay. You know, I'm doing all right. Oh. Well, I'm going to answer a few more questions here. Eve Brown says, what is your worst wig performance experience? Oh, well, Cassie, have you ever lost a wig during a performance?
I mean, it's pretty good. I have lost ponytail pieces.
Yeah, you have. That's true.
But nope, I can't say I've been doing cartwheels and backflips, and that's your area of expertise. I just flip my hair and glitter goes everywhere.
That's fine. Luna, have you ever had a wig debacle?
Oh, it's like if I hadn't lost a wig, then something was wrong that night. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Call me whatever you want, but I have a ginormous head, and there's not enough Ghost Bond in the world to keep this wig on when I'm doing my thing. So, yeah,
I love it.
It's a very regular occurrence for me.
Yes. I think the only time, like, I've lost ponytail pieces and probably, like, toppers and things like that, but my hair was always long, so I would always just pull out my scrunchie. Ugh, fucking scrunchies, I can't. There was a time where I walked in a bar and I had all my natural hair pulled up. I had this cute little piece on top with my Harrisburg America crown, and I walked in the bar with my hair and crown on, and as soon as I stepped over the threshold, I was bald. And I turned around, and my crown and hairpiece were swinging from the doorway. I was like, well, that's mine. I'll take that back. Thank you so much. Oh, Eve Brown says, best wig glue recommendations. Other than Craft Bond, and I don't like using Craft Bond because it's very chemically enhanced. I mean, it's literal glue you're spraying in your hair. I don't know. Best wig glue. If you have lace fronts, spirit gum and things like that are good. It's always important to wear a wig cap, and you can pin your wigs onto a wig cap. That's so much better than gluing. But if I have to glue a wig on, which I try not to, I just use a very strong hold hairspray.
Yeah.
And a lot of bobby pins. So, Luna, what do you use?
I use a liquid latex glue called Ghost Bond. Okay. It's very popular right now. You can get it off Amazon or basically any beauty supply store. But I don't. When you see wig installs online, you always see the ear to ear, glue across the top.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the skin on my face, so I tend to just do a dot, and a dot, and usually that will keep my wig on for 2/3 of my number. But like I said, it's a pretty regular occurrence for me to lose a wig. I've literally seen performers use carpet glue on their on their bare scalp.
Yes.
So I think it really just depends on best wig glue recommendations. It depends on how heavily you want to commit.
Right.
Facts. That is very true.
Yes.
That is very true. Well, everybody, we made it through our 1.5 hour episode of Diamond Dish. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. I want to give an opportunity to both of my guests to say a final farewell and thank yous to all of you. And I'm going to start with my girl, Cassie. If you want to go ahead and thank everybody tonight, please do so.
Yes, absolutely. Luna, it was a pleasure meeting you. Gorgeous. I'm going to need that link, by the way. Amethyst, we did not get into as many shenanigans as I figured. You did a fantastic job hosting the show. And thank you so much for having me. Anytime, I've got you. So, but everyone watching, thank you so much. It was my pleasure. And if you want to hang out with me every Friday at 8, Modern Femme-ily.
Absolutely. Thank you, baby. Luna, go ahead. Take it from here.
Thank you, Amethyst, for hosting this lovely night that we've had together. Thank you, Jade, backstage, for keeping the technicalities together, even though it was shaky for a moment. Cassie, it was so lovely meeting you and hearing about, your background and where you come from as a performer. It's so great to meet people who perform on different platforms and through different, creative outlets. Of course, you and your lovely wife, anytime you would like to take a trek to Taco Bell, please just give me a ring. I'll be there in 2 shakes of a lamb tail.
I love it. I love a lamb tail.
Oh, me too, girl. And of course, thank you for having me. I'll come back anytime, Yes.
Awesome. I have to point out that my brother, Shane Brown, is also watching the show. He says, "Hey, from New York City, sis. Wish you were here." That is my pride and joy, my baby brother. He just became a dad last year, and I could not be more proud of the man that he's become and the father. I love you, Shane. I'm proud of you. He's in New York right now with his new job promotion. Yes, doing big things. I'm proud of you, brother. I love you. Cassie, Luna, it's been such a pleasure having you both here tonight. Cassie, what can I say to you that you haven't heard already? Sister, I love you. Thank you for supporting my crazy, stupid ass for all these years and for being successful as a woman in life, as a strong, powerful woman, and really getting that message that I taught you out there. I'm proud of you as well. So thank you for being on the show with me tonight. Luna, baby, to say that you've impressed me would be an understatement. I am so proud of the person that you are. You are going to do great things in this community for yourself, for all of us out there as entertainers, and I will be behind you every step of the way if you need me. Okay,
stop! I'm gonna cry.
Don't cry, baby. We're done with the show. Let it run. I love you so much, and I'm so grateful that you were here with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, to my co-host that couldn't be with me here tonight, Jade, Anastasia, Scarlett, I love you, hoes. You better get it together because I just raised the bar. Ladies and gentlemen, that leaves us one last thing to say. Good night, kids.
Good night.
Mwah.
You've been listening to WLFE-DB.com, where our shows are your shows.